So I'm not well versed in men and women's sports at all. It seems like 5 or 6 years ago, I'd have to say it. 6 years ago, 2016 election, everybody decided that they were going to become offended by everything. And I think a lot of this movement, to be honest with you, with everything, the chaos that's taking place in the state and in the schools, in the cities, I think that has something to do with it in 2016 because they had to push an agenda. The hate was so high that they had to become offended.
Yeah.
They had to become offended.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long this issue has been with men and women's sports. It seems like that it's just recently started happening in the country. I don't even know where to start with this because I don't know where the right place to start, where the wrong place to start. I can put myself in these young girls' shoes where they've worked so hard, whether it be in a sport, whatever sport that they're in. They work so hard their whole life. They have aspirations. They have goals. They want to be this. They want a gold medal. They want to go to this college because this college has the best swim team. Or they want to go here because this college has this. So I understand what it's like to be a female and to dream about something and to work hard every single day, sacrifice your friends, sacrifice your birthdays, give up your hours throughout the day to be able to work hard because you want to be the best at that because you have a goal and you have a goal that you want to cross.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having a person who identifies as, it's like they change the verbiage all the time. They identifies as, and they come in and now you're competing against a biological male. I'm not saying anything about, and this is what people have to realize, we're not saying anything about people who want to live this type of lifestyle. I have family members that are trans, and they chose this lifestyle at the age of 18. Not when they were a child. That's very different when they were a legal adult to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But to get into now, they're starting to penetrate every single aspect of women's lives. Because I don't see a lot of women that are wanting to go into the male arena and compete against them, but I'm seeing a lot of men that are going into the women's arena.
Cambria, I feel like we're in phase 3. I feel like phase 1 was no more dodgeball in PE class. And from that, we allowed young men, let's just say, to be okay with being unable to hang with the other boys or honestly take up for those who are maybe being bullied. We kind of took away dodgeball and made it okay to be a weak and I want to say impotent young man in our society. And phase 2, quite frankly, is I think everyone gets a trophy. I think that was phase 2. Everyone gets a trophy. If your young man isn't good enough to be at the select sports teams and the groups that we have now, we're going to start new select sports teams and new leagues, and everyone gets a championship ring and everyone gets a trophy. Well, now phase 3 is this. You can now be ranked 450th or so in men's swimming in the country at a collegiate level. But since that's not super great and you can't brag about that, we're going to let you jump over and compete against women. And guess what? You'll be number 1.
And they use the name of equality or now in Texas, equity, right?
Right. So welcome to phase 3. In my opinion, is we live in a society where no one values truth. No one listens to morals or ethics or common sense, and you now have free reign to, as a man, jump into a woman-dominated and a woman-specific sport, and you can just reign, and you can be the champion, and your parents can pat you on the back, and a small sector of our population can cheer you on. But my question is this. When is the vast majority of our population going to stand up and say, this is nonsense?
When are the parents going to stand up? I don't see a lot of parents standing up even at events when they have, the news media is talking about it. They're like, this athlete won first place, this other girl won second place. She has been training her whole life. She should have won first place. And you see arguments. You see arguments in the stands, but I don't know if they're fear. They're scared to speak up because if they speak up, then they're going to get labeled something. They're going to be called homophobic. They're going to be called transphobic. That's what it is. That's why the parents are not. But we, like you said, we need men in this country and even in the state of Texas to stand up and fight for their children, because isn't that what daddies do? Isn't that what grandpas do? Isn't that what brothers do? I'm not seeing a lot of that right now. I'm seeing us kowtow to the left because they're afraid they're going to be slapped a label on them and lose their job.
Yeah.
Their child's going to be stripped of something. They're going to lose their possible scholarship. I'm not seeing, like you said, I'm not seeing the man step up and be the man that I was used to. If anyone messed with me as a child, man, I had my brother, I had my cousin, I had my father, and probably my grandfather right behind him ready to go. I don't see that anymore. I see the women doing it because the women just have no fear whatsoever.
Well, the great theologian once said, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for everything. And no theologian, but a great country artist. But the reality is this: we are not taking a stand around the basics. We're not, this is easy. This is softball play here. These are issues men should not play in women's sports.
So what do you suggest?
Yeah.
Because I think about this stuff, so I'm going to be honest. I think like, you know what, if they want to be trans, God bless them. I mean, you know, it's their life. I mean, it's not my life, my place to sit here and tell a person that's 18 or over what they should or should not do. What do they do? Do they have their own leagues? I mean, now we're opening up a whole can of worms. And you have some people that say absolutely not because this is an abhorrent behavior. I mean, you have so many people that have religious beliefs. You have people that say let them be who they are. And then you have people that say no, absolutely, we give them nothing. What do we do? How do we rectify this? I'm talking about kids that are 18 or over, not young children. That's a whole nother topic because I am a very, those are our babies. But when they're 18, how do we rectify this situation in our colleges? What do we do?
Here's the hard answer. You cannot change your chromosomes. If you got double X or if you're an XY, you can't change it.
So you just swim with the men in a chick bathing suit.
1,000 years from now, Kimber, they're going to dig up your body and they're going to say, this was a female. They're not going to know what your preferences were, what your pronouns were, not what color you like to dye your hair. You cannot change your chromosomes. And the hard answer is this: if you're a man, then you live in a man's world and you thrive in a man's world, you produce in a man's world, you care for your family in a man's world, you carry them to church on Sunday, you lead your family. If you're a female, I'm telling you, there are a million attributes that I am so thankful for when it comes to women in my life. Strong women who were leaders in my life. The problem is we are saying that you are a man, but you're supposed to be a woman, and we expect society just to get in line and to bow down to the ideology. And that is a train wreck for a society. And we're not seeing it yet, but we one day soon will say, oh, this is what happens when you do not take a stand and say right is right and wrong is wrong.